That's really what this is, guys. This is an opportunity, ma'am. This is an opportunity to please, if you would, just the facts, but this is the worst of last year. I don't want to be bragging about how well they did on a property. That's another meeting. But tonight's confessional is really about, holy mackerel, I didn't see that one coming. And if you haven't got one of those, I'm sure there's somebody in here tonight that's had some fallout. Apropos, tonight's meeting used everybody, those wonderful ladies at the front door, had to beg people, make phone calls to people, because they canceled our meeting. Now, nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows who canceled the meeting. But rumor, gossip, innuendo spread tonight like wildfire that this meeting was canceled. And people were calling each other and the front doors were locked. So that's how this horror story started out for Cireia, the first part of the year. So everybody had to beg, everybody had to go through the authority figures. First we had to find them. We had to knock on doors. We had to go around and introduce ourselves. This was embarrassing. Here we are, hat in hand. We have a contract to rent this place, but hat in hand tonight, we're going around begging to see if we can have our meeting. Because we're investors, because we're entrepreneurs, we go through this every single day, and we're willing to do this type of thing to find out. So this is an education meeting. This year, the education meetings are going to be gone in a format where we're going to try to bring people to you. People who have information that's going to help you make decisions. You're an important group of people because you represent cash flow for this city and this economy. So hopefully we're going to try to get some of those people to recognize that this is a force of people. This is a voting bloc. These are people who spend their money and make their decisions. In February, we're going to be having someone from Section 8 who's going to try to separate fact from fiction, myth from mythology. Gentlemen, anything you want to know about Section 8, ma'am, ladies, this is the night. They're going to come here, they're going to spend a couple hours with us at 7 o'clock, and they're going to tell us about Section 8. It's just going to be everything you want to know. The month after that, we have the people from the cultural trail are going to come. We're going to have both the architect and we're going to have the fundraiser. And you can hear what the fundraiser had to tell people in each one of these neighborhoods to go through what was wanted from them, what was going to be taken from them to build this thing. This thing means money. There's nothing like it in the world. Nothing like it in the world. And we were talking about it here last year. A year ago, we started telling people about the cultural trail. These are the same people that do the Channel 13 news interviews, the same people that go to Star News, they're coming here. I spoke with the mayor of Lawrence Township last night. There's a whole different philosophy about Lawrence Township. He's very interested in coming to this group of people and telling you what they think is going to change in Lawrence Township, commercially and residentially, and why that might be a good investment for you. Now, if he is successful up here, and I think he will be a fine speaker, we'll possibly then ask the new mayor to come out and speak to us, because we're hoping within 4, 5, 6 months we've got 100 people in this room. And so when our guest speakers come, you know, they see 100 voters, 100 people who spend money, and they're going to show you some respect. You know, we're paying money out of our dues for lobbying so that things like this lead-based paint initiative going through the statute right now, okay? They want you, as each individual investors, to go through another inspection before you rent to anybody, and they have to sign it, and they can prosecute you if your home was built before 1978. Another expense in being an investor that you've got to figure out how to recover, another regulation that you have to figure out how to comply with. So, that's the type of information we hope to have for you all year long. Please, I'd love to hear your suggestions. I've got some great ones tonight from different people. That's a great idea. Now, I want to introduce a moment before we get started, Mr. Bob Nice, who's the president of Cireia. I'm also going to do a quick commercial for him and then ask him to say a few words to you. But you really do need to know what's going on legally, all right? We're fortunate. We have a lot of great legal minds in our organization. Mr. Nice is your president, and he is also an extremely good counselor in protecting your investments and your reputation. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And go this evening, because we're a little late, I made on time. I just want to tell you that the fourth Tuesday is intended to be an educational meeting, and frankly, it's a great opportunity in a little more comfortable environment to get some very practical information that you can take home and put to use the next day. John is our education chair and in charge of those meetings this year. He's already got a lot of wonderful events lined up for you. Watch the website, watch the bulletin, but make sure you pencil in the fourth Tuesday, just as well as the second Tuesday. Come over to the JA Center and join us just a half hour later, usually is with me here. With that, John, thank you for your good efforts already. So I'd learn because, frankly, people like you make me look good, and I have to do it now. And I appreciate that.
What you do when we hired you.
Thank you.
Okay. Really relax. You know, if we want to build this a little more circular, my friend Greg Coleman here has got the microphone. I'm a little loud. I'll apologize that. Only tonight I am loud. So I don't use that. But we've had some really interesting times this year. I'm going to start this off. I'm going to look for the first guy that raised their hand and said, I want to say something. All right.
The question I have is, what's this lead-based paint initiative you're talking about?
Lead-based paint initiative. Bob, you got the emails today. Would you take that for a moment?
All right. As a preface, this is the reason why I want everyone who's sitting in the chair out there to reach in their pocket and write a check for $100 to Cireia and the memo line put lobbying fund. We are paying significant money to a lobbyist to be aware and to have a voice in several things going through the legislature. Property taxes are at the absolute top, of course. But there is another effort to, as John said earlier, to place the burden of lead-based paint inspections and compliance on the landlord and to try to impose criminal sanctions on us if things happen. Now, we all want to provide a good place for our tenants to live, but at the same time, if we're not paying attention to our own situation, there's a question about where the responsibility should fall, and it's just one expense and one more fear of liability that is imposed upon us unwillingly by our legislature. So it's being watched, and the hope is that this session, because we're so busy with property taxes, that they may not get that for a vote. But we have a lobbyist right now talking to the sponsor bill, trying to get them to back off the intensity of the sanctions, if you will. And we have our eyes on it, and we're going to see where things play out. But again, if we have contact with a representative or a senator, let them know that sometimes we don't need government to control every little piece of our lives because it just adds expense, which ultimately gets passed on to the consumer as well.
This is what we're talking about, hopefully this year, all year long. Now, the reason I knew that is, fortunately, on being on these Cireia committees, I got an email blast from somebody at Cireia. It just kind of gave me an idea that we need to find a way for members to sign up for that. It's, you know, part and parcel of what you get. You can get that same kind of bulletin I got today. Now, that was a shock to me. Okay, another expense. I knew about that today because I was a member. Okay, I'm going to beg somebody, borrow somebody, I may even point my finger at somebody, but, you know, during the course of this year, somebody tried to buy a piece of real estate, tried to fix a piece of real estate, tried to bring a piece of real estate to closing, had a tenant back out on them, had an unexpected expense, had a surprise, a shock from the title company, the seller, the buyer, something that just came right out of the blue.